So here's what's funny.
Yeah.
I used the when I first started working for the court, I was running Zoom hearings, and the biggest struggle was when people would join the meeting. I'd have to get them to join their audio. And it was this whole complication. I'd be messaging them all these steps. Look for the button in the top right corner, click on it, and people just couldn't figure it out. And I just make this acknowledgement to laugh that I'm looking at you like, up, here we go again. I got to get his audio connected. I've been sitting here this whole time, and it's because I didn't connect my audio. So just rookie mistake by a veteran. Sad to see to start off the conversation. But Blue,
Gotcha.
how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. You ready to get this thing started?
Let's get it going.
All right, let's go.
So I love that term, think tank. Think tank. I mean, you know what a think tank is? Like, how's a think tank go, Jim?
Yeah, they got cancel culture nowadays. You gotta watch what you say. It's getting real scary out here.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know if I can take the conversation here, but we might as well. It's the Rethink Tank. Looks like you had a little bit too much to think here in the Rethink Tank.
So, Blue, let me ask you, let's just start the conversation off. I'm curious. What do you make of the state of the world right now?
I don't know what to make of it. It's so much going on. Rest in peace to the queen, but she recently just passed away.
Yeah, she did.
And so what the crazy thing about it is that's when I found out she was related to basically more than half of the presidents.
How wild is that?
Yeah, because I'm thinking like, yo, these people been running this family been running this country forever. And then
And
when you
even
realize,
like the Vatican,
yeah,
it's like, it's not just like two major powers. It's like a few major powers all have this kind of royal familial relationship, right?
hold on. What do you mean by the Vatican? I'm not familiar with that.
So like the Pope,
Yeah,
like there's let's just say like familial background that connects the royal family similar to like them and presidents. It's the same thing as like trying to think of what they're called. Not like cardinals. So like the people that are below the Pope, there's like the Pope, and then I think it's cardinals. There's like a um council of people that are like, dude, the Vatican's like its own country, right?
no, I didn't know that.
Okay, so think about this. Think about this. You go to Italy and you want to go visit the area that the Pope lives in, where God is touching Adam in like the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah,
You ever see the painting of like two people almost touching each other? Um,
yeah,
that's in the Vatican. The Vatican is near Rome in Italy, but it is its own country. So it isn't a part of Italy. It is literally like the size of like a giant city, and it's its own country. And you know what? Actually, I don't want to talk out of ignorance. While I'm kind of talking here, I'm going to Google just like basic facts, because here's the thing. The Vatican has like the most stolen or commandeered war treasure in the world, because it's from when like the Catholics just took over the world and stole all of Rome's like treasures. And they have you ever heard of like the Library of Alexandria? And like the library in the Vatican is like the biggest archive of human history and historical documentation. And it's all under lock and key, hidden in this like secret country that's run by a religion, right? Um, but it's so anyway, it's a weird little location that has a huge, major global power, and it's kind of like it doesn't. Dude, I could go on forever. We're not going down that rabbit hole. Here's what I suggest. You should totally Google it. or watch some
But
videos.
all it related to, like, it related to U.S. presidents also.
Oh yeah,
And
dude,
it
that
related.
whole background. It's so bizarre. Like how weird is it that you can make a connection? Well, maybe not fact. Possibly it's theorized that you can draw a direct connection to Obama's bloodline and the Bush's bloodline.
Yeah, and also they're also connected to Queen Elizabeth.
Exactly. So what do you make of that?
Who's also connected to Donald Trump.
Dude, so let's agree. And don't forget Donald Trump was at the Clintons' wedding. Like they're all tight and dandy. Don't buy the show. But can we agree that they're all on the same side? They're all fingers to the same hand.
There you go. It's all a big old chess game.
For real. And the biggest problem is they really don't have much power because they're not big in numbers. But what they do is they masterfully divide us and pin us against each other.
I don't know, man. I think they're pretty powerful.
Well, they very much. Well, they control. Here's the crazy part. You go, I think they're very powerful. They are. They're powerful like having, an infinity stone. They create reality. They create perception, and perception is reality. So at the end of the day, they're creating reality. Like it's this weird thing where they can say something loud enough for long enough that it just becomes fact. And you're just like, that's not how things played out. And they're like, nope, that is.
Yeah.
It is. Nobody showed up to Trump's inauguration. Well, that's just not the fact. But I literally watched them change reality. I'm like, this is the most insane. I think it's going to be after this episode, but I just did a podcast with a new podcaster. I'm going to hook you up with him. Jon Astacion. He does questions where he asks you, like, what was your red pill moment? Like, what was the moment that really red pilled you? And I came up with a couple things, but I don't know if I said it. I think the thing that really set me off, dude, like that really alarmed me to like, things just ain't right. I graduated college and I hadn't started law school. So I had this like gap summer. I took a gap year. So I'm off and my buddy's he did a 5th year of college. So I go to his dorm and dude, we like partied down for this man's inauguration, a celebration. And I sat there and dude, I know what I witnessed. It was the most mesmerizing. It was huge, crowd everywhere. And they show everybody leaving at the end. And that is what they clip to make as this is the population that went to his inauguration. And I'm like, that's not what I experienced. That was everybody, like when they all left. So I come across on Facebook a guy who screen recorded his computer and he goes, all right, here I am on the CNN website. They have a 360 camera. Let's take a quick look and you could see all down the whatever reflecting pond down to the Washington Monument or the Lincoln Memorial. There is people, but it's a 360 camera on the stage. You could look all the way behind it and literally streets behind the stage and along like both ways full of people. He screen records it going, so explain this. This was like at the beginning of the inauguration. Somebody explain how this crowd's this big, and they're going to say nobody was there. And I shared that on Facebook. This was one of the one times Facebook removed a video, but also gave me a strike for sharing someone else's video. I just shared it, and I got a strike. I go, hold up. You're twisting and now I watch find some. Here's the deal. Nobody that experienced it would beg to differ. But the reality is everybody hated the guy and most people were working. So nobody experienced it on their television besides the people that took off of work and went there. So they were able to twist reality, maybe not for everybody, but man, if I were to say this in public, aren't you going to be ridiculed? Like, burn the witch. Listen to this guy talk. What is he saying? So the few people that are going to speak out, you've made out to be total fools. And the rest of the people are playing out of ignorance, so they're going to let you just tell them how it is because you're the reality. You know how it is. And then when everybody around you is reconfirming it, it's over. Baby cakes, nobody was at the inauguration, and that guy's crazy.
That's crazy.
Well, dude, and again, so that was like,
I mean, he did win, so I mean, if he won, then obviously people want to come and see him get inaugurated. You know what I'm saying? So it only makes sense.
But I want to back up to your big point because I think I allowed myself to stray too far. You're making the bigger point that we also need to acknowledge again that he was just as compromised as any of the other options we were given. Yeah. The reason a Tulsi Gabbard isn't allowed to be taken serious is because she isn't a part of that machine. She is the antithesis to what they're conspiring. So while I sit here and say these things, I want to acknowledge that guy's just as compromised and a part of the problem as the rest of the people we criticize on here. So I asked you what you think the state of the world is. You said the Queen. What about the Queen? So
well, it was just the fact that basically I was just surprised that she was related to United States presidents. And also, did you hear about apparently like a lot of the men who are walking around her casket when they were carrying her graveyard when they were gonna go bury her? Apparently, they said that they was gonna bury the men with her. Did you hear about that?
What?
Yeah, like the dudes who was carrying that casket, her royal men or whatever you call them. Because I don't know exactly what they call them guys, but apparently they said that they will be buried with the Queen. Like I heard that. I don't know if somebody just twisted a clip up. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Shock people. You know what I mean? Because the internet, you can put anything out there, but it was like. It was the news. The dude was on the news was talking about it as they were walking the casket. And I was like, yeah, they're going to bury the Queen. And then they're going to bury, those men with her. And I'm like, dang.
Okay, so here's the deal. I just want to say Snopes, fact checker, says no, the Queen's Guard weren't buried alive with her. But let's also acknowledge that Snopes is compromised. So it's probably a fact that they didn't, but like, here's the deal. I think what we're dancing around is there might be some fishy stuff around the Queen in that whole situation. What do you think of Meghan Markle?
I think that she's just a regular woman from California, but I'm going to tell you this. I've seen some pictures on some clips online of them, and they look like they was like aliens or something. Her and, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like she just looked fake. I don't know. Maybe it was the makeup. I don't know.
Do you think there's lizard people living among us?
Yes, I think it's all types of things living amongst us we don't know of. But have you heard about all these caves they found in Earth? Like in China, it's like this huge manhole, and they found that it was a whole forest down there with a river and everything.
Yes. I did see that. Dude, I am a big proponent of there's a Middle Earth. I definitely think there's another world beneath us. I think there's another world in the ocean. Here's the one thing, the thing that I have the most passion for is emphasizing to people getting over the hurdle and scuba diving at least once in your life. Snorkeling, get that shit out of here. You need to go scuba diving. It is life-changing, and you see immediately there is a whole nother world that we are just ignorant to. Whole nother existence that we just are. It's silent, but it's not. It's silent, but you hear every sound. You literally go like this. Like, I know you just like make kind of like a cup in your hand, kind of like a hole. and you punch your palm and it's like a boom. And like pa, like it's like a gunshot, like ka ka ka, and that's like how you get people's attention underwater and stuff. There's this serenity, but you're in someone else's world. You're with these fish that are like, "Hello, stranger, welcome," but you know you don't belong, and we know you don't belong. There's this like weird existence. This again, nothing else to describe it but another world. And that's why I always say I feel like everybody should at least try it once. And it goes to your point of like, there's totally another world beneath us.
I'm gonna tell you this. I got one of my woke friends. He told me that inside the earth is what, remember the Matrix? He said that's what's going on inside the earth. He said that's hollow earth.
So what? That people are just like machined up down there?
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the Matrix.
This is the breeding zone.
Well, I don't know what the breeding zone is, but you know how the Matrix Neo went to the earth? That's what's actually going on. And the inside of the earth is, you know how they had the little machine aliens flying through the earth and creating and whatever, people coming out of machines and like they was born. Remember inside the Matrix, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the actual Matrix when they was eating a soup that tastes like chicken or whatever. Yeah, he said that's hollow earth. That's what his theory is. That's hollow earth.
Dude, I've got a warped feeling. I kind of think hollow earth is how the theatrics portrayed. I think it's got like wild animals and jungles, like you've indicated, like we're seeing in China. I feel like there's probably alien-like animals and beings that we've just like, I don't know. Who knows, dude? Who knows?
So
but then you go, how wild is it that we could sit here and say, so here, let me ask you this. Let's ponder something. Yeah. We believe it. We both kind of believe it. Something tells us it in the pit of our loins. What is the main indicator? Like, what's your evidence?
My evidence, the only thing I got that there may be actually something going on is the fact that they're finding these sinkholes with forests and that we only discover like 5% of the ocean.
Right. Boom. Boom. Two major points.
Come on, man. The ocean make up 75% of the world. So, like you said, it's a whole other world we ain't seen.
And here's the thing. Laughably, at maximum, you're getting about 40 feet deep, right? When you're starting off. And then you might get to 60 to 100 if you're skilled. And we're talking, what does the world look like thousands of feet down into that thing? I personally believe there are mermaid-like, water people. Maybe it's the dolphins, but we've made an agreement with the water people to stay in our lane and they'll stay in theirs. And there seems to be kind of pushback when we start intruding. Water catching on fire mysteriously. What? And perpetual cyclones into the water. Like it's, I don't know.
So what do you mean? Do you think them cyclones are man-made?
Who knows, man? I'm not sitting here pretend. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I think Aquaman's sitting there ruling Atlantis down beneath. But I wouldn't be surprised if like mermaid monsters like stay really deep or there is some sort of intelligence we've agreed to stay away from each other.
And you know what, man? I'm gonna tell you another thing that leads me to believe that theory. Well, I don't know about the agreements, but as far as people being in the water, life starts in water. Life comes from water. Where there's water, there's life. So that's why I say I definitely will be surprised if it's life in water. They could have been here longer than we have.
You're probably right. They probably were. Well, that's the weirdest part is that then begs the question of like the development of this earth. And here's another question for you. There seems to be a lot of fishing since we're going down this path. Like, there's a lot of doubt around the origins of the pyramid and the timetables that they give us for, like, you know, it just doesn't make sense that they're not as old as they say they are. Anyway, there's in a place where there's all this doubt of the origins of these things and how far back the history of the human race goes. I also believe there's a hidden past, that, like, there's a past to this human race where our churches, go look at our churches, man, like with giant organs and stuff. I think with vibrations, frequencies, and wavelengths, there was a world with different medicine. I think we use that as medicine. I think we used it as a way for health and healing and all kinds of things. But if you look at, like, the World Fair, go back to like 100 years ago, dude, the pictures of the World Fair, you know, in Chicago or like Atlanta or somewhere, or Paris, the World Fair, it was like they built these spectacular cities in months and then tore them down. And it's like, where's that technology? Where it was just like, but it was a world when Tesla was around and the technology of free-flowing energy was something that existed. Because again, you and I and the basic man today only understands electricity as something that comes from a plug, right? Like, it only comes through this. It has a circuit. But what Tesla designed was free-flowing electricity, where, like, this thing, microphone, no plug, just electric. It's electrified.
Tesla. Now, what do you mean about Tesla?
Nikola Tesla was a scientist that was run off the earth by the government, and, you know, go watch like they've made a couple movies about him, and, you know, Elon Musk, I think, might be compromised in his own way, even though he does a lot of good. We'll talk about him if you want. I did want to ask you about that, but like Elon Musk, I think, named Tesla as like a mockery to Nikola Tesla. He's somebody that, again, was around the time of Tom. Let me wait. I'm not getting this wrong. So, let me just Google who Nikola Tesla was up against, because you'll recognize this name. Yeah, okay, it was Thomas Edison. I was gonna say that, and I thought I'd be insane. I didn't think they were the same period. So this is how far back Nikola Tesla goes, right? So there was a point in time where Thomas Edison said electricity needed to come through plugs because we could monetize it. That's how we can monitor. All right, this is how much electricity you've used, and we can charge you X amount of dollars. Where if Nikola Tesla, it was free and everywhere all the time, there's no way to monetize that. So there's this like race that's like, you know, been dramatized in movies and stuff between Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. But the reality of it is it came down to control and money. And Nikola Tesla was run out. He hid his final days like in a hotel with his pigeons, and he would like transcribe to people by carrier pigeon. And it was like this sad existence hiding, even though they knew where he was. It was this crazy thing. But his science is totally suppressed. And dude, here's this crazy thing. I don't know if you've seen this guy. He might be a little bit autistic, but he's like literally the smartest guy I've found on TikTok. He's the most fascinating person. He Dr. something. Hopefully I got it on the screen. But this dude built a Tesla coil in his backyard. And this thing has to be 25 yards tall. No, we'll go with like 15 to 20 yards tall. I mean, we're talking like 4 to 5 feet in diameter. No, 3 feet in diameter. I'm giving it a little too big. Of just like this tunnel that goes up with a ball on the top. And this dude was able to build it. It's just...
Okay, so I have been asked before, what's the difference between a Tesla coil and a magnifying transmitter? A magnifying transmitter has 3 coils, and a Tesla coil is actually what Tesla used to receive the electricity from the magnifying transmitter. You just feed it electricity and it's backwards. But this is a magnifying transmitter, and it consists of a primary, a secondary, and an extra coil. The extra coil and secondary connect to each other, but they do not connect to the primary. So the bottom of the secondary connects to the earth right over there, and the top of the secondary goes into the extra coil. The extra coil is tuned at the same frequency as the primary, and the secondary coil is wound up to 1/4 of the wavelength of the frequency, so a 1/4 wavelength. Anyway, if you know anything about AC, you'll know it vibrates back and forth. So it's able to make the earth shake with that frequency. If it's a harmonic of the earth, it actually transmits more efficiently. And you don't want sparks on the magnifying transmitter because that's wasted electricity. So they use some of the same principles to tune the Tesla coil and the magnifying transmitter, but they're not the same because the Tesla coil, the 2-coil system, is what Tesla used to receive electricity from this thing, the magnifying transmitter.
And guess what? Why do I bring him up? TikTok is suppressing him. They keep canceling him. They keep like cutting off his accounts. And it's like, why? Because he's blowing up, showing people. Dude, you should see how genius this kid is. He'll have like 24 bottles, glass bottles, like beer bottles, Pepsi bottles, you know, filled with some sort of liquid, you know, some sort of chemical, with wire cable going all through them and then tying them all together, and copper all involved and intertwined in the whole thing. And he's just got tons of these around as like batteries. Or dude, it'd be a crime if I even pretended I understood a clue of what this guy had going on in his backyard. But it was fascinating. And the fact that they had to erase him doing the sign, but you know, it's funny. I was about to say, doing the science of, you know, somebody that they have suppressed. But it's funny. I short circuit and I just want to yell at you and go, Blue, but trust the science. We suppress the science, but trust the science. Trust the science. So that's your Nikola Tesla lesson for the day. Why did we bring him up? I don't remember. Anyway.
Yeah, dang, I hate when I do that. Yeah, but yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, you was talking about pyramids and stuff, though.
Yeah. So, dude, it's funny I led then to Nikola Tesla because I'll get to the point I wanted to make, but a fact about pyramids. Dude, they were not just a decoration. They definitely were not just like, let's build a tower. This thing is to the perfect thing. Everybody knows the scientific amazement of it being to the perfect measurements of the earth. Like you had to have a macroscopic global understanding of the world and its measurements to make this the way it was. And here's what's funny. I'm going to double down with an Andrew Schultz joke where he goes, it's funny people question who made the pyramids in Egypt, but nobody questions the similar pyramids in Mexico by that the Aztecs built to the exact same dimensions, to the same exact position to the equator, in like the same exact alignment to our rotation. And he goes, but nobody questions if the Mexicans built that. And I just think that's a funny joke. But anyway, the point is, how are these things all perfectly positioned across the globe? Well, one of the conspiracy theories is that it was a way of transmitting frequencies and electricity, not necessarily electricity as we know it, but probably some sort of frequency for either healing or strength or something.
It's
but
crazy.
Yeah.
We don't even know how that energy works. We just know it provided energy.
Right. So I think there's something more to all of it. I think there's a hidden history that we don't know of. I brought up Nikola Tesla because of the World Fair, that, like, dude, they had these spectacular buildings. Have you ever, I'm going to have like an array of the pictures going down on the bottom here, but there's like old time pictures of like some really spectacular technology of like floating motorcycles, like flying motorcycles, but they were like drones as we know it, just like a drone bike. And it's like, wait, why did they have that in a picture that looks like it's from like a, hello, see, from the 1920s?
Yeah.
But like, why? And we don't have that now.
Yeah. See, and I'm always confused about, because I've heard they found like cell phones in pyramids and computers.
And in fossils, they're finding now similar things, technology specifically.
And so I'd be confused, because how can these people have all this technology and have all this knowledge, as far as the metrics of the entire world, and be this precise and this smart. But then you turn around and you see another picture of them with bows and arrows. It's like, it doesn't even sound like it. I don't understand. How can these two things exist at the same time? Or are we looking at it wrong?
Well, they're obviously selling us a narrative. The question then becomes, how close is the narrative to the truth? And I think it was Malcolm X that said only a fool allows his enemy to educate his children.
It's real.
So, I mean, there's something, dude, it's sad. I got roped in by one of my colleagues at work. I got roped into being a coach for my high school's debate team.
Okay.
And the kids now they expect a lot to be done for them. And the sad part is, you see how the modern education system combined perfectly with the teachers' beliefs and agenda, like their personal little deal in it, that like these children are just sponges to the ideology being pushed on them. Like, they have lost the ability to think outside of, there's no critical thinking. Boom. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what to do about it. Do you have any suggestions?
That's not really my lane.
Well, I think the best thing we can do is just keep having these conversations, and we got to just keep trying to educate. The problem is we allow, out of fear, people to get canceled around us because we just don't want it to happen to us. And
yeah.
Where does that end?
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. Wait, you were about to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying, hopefully we don't, get canceled like Kanye and Adidas still try to sell our merch.
Dude, can we talk about Kanye? Can we
Yeah.
please talk about Kanye?
Definitely.
What are your thoughts?
I voted for Kanye.
Did you?
I voted for Kanye.
I would now. I wouldn't. I'm not turned off from the idea. Like, at the end of the day, I love them and I keep loving them. Here's the deal. You know what I really implore people to do? Go listen to his interview with Lex Friedman. It was following like his big like tweet problem and him going on a couple like shows that got pulled from YouTube. It's an incredible interview. It's a Russian Jewish person interviewing Kanye and calling him out for his statements. He makes incredible points. Kanye also defends himself masterfully. And there has to be something to be said to, back to my point, nobody does the political homework, but everybody wants a political opinion. So back to my point about like the inauguration, it's like if you were to do the homework and actually just like listen to Kanye talk, there's no way you would hate him. That's why they're trying to stop your ability to listen to him talk, right? They're canceling him on all social medias.
Yeah,
and we're probably getting in trouble for talking about him. Why? Not because he's that much of a problem and he's causing lost lives. It's because he's a threat.
He got way too much influence.
Dude, way too much. So, I appreciate that you still support Kanye, but where does he go from here? Things are crumbling around him. He's no longer a billionaire.
Kanye's definitely a billionaire. Kanye can make a come on, man, it's Kanye. It's Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Hey, they lost money. Kanye didn't lose money. They lost money.
Yeah, why would they do that then? Why do you think they take that hit?
You gotta understand what Kanye said. Kanye said with these people, it's not about the money. It's about the influence.
It's about the control. Yeah.
It's about control.
Because again, they're getting the others to comply. Like you comply because it's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. And the day that it does happen to you, it's too late. Nobody's going to be able to be there to help you.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do to help the Kanyes of the world?
Now, Kanye don't need our help.
Well, no, not him. The Kanye spirits.
People who like Kanye?
No, the people that are taking on that same mission, that, won't cowtail and are standing up on the principle.
Yeah, you mean like us?
Exactly.
Hey, man, we just got to pray and keep going.
That's how you
do.
beat the Satanists, right?
That's all we can do. Yeah, that's it.
Dude, it is weird. Once you see the occult, you never unsee it. Like, it is everywhere. And the people that I really go.
It's so confusing though, because I'll be wondering, is there really an occult? But it'd be so much evidence. But at the same time, you still never know what you're looking at.
Did you see all the new stuff with Doja Cat?
Nah, I didn't. What's going on with her?
Well, one, she had like her birthday, and it was her leaving the 27 Club, and it was an Illuminati themed birthday party. Literally, that's what it was. So very bizarre. And
it was an Illuminati party, like people walk around with pig faces and stuff.
Dude, you should see the pictures. I'm going to have some on the screen here, but it was just like the people in robes. There were the pyramid with the eyes. It was literally, that's what it was. It was an Illuminati themed party. So it's like, I'm not saying that to be hyperbolic. That was the title of the party, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. That was recent. Then she just had this new music video, and my buddy sent me a clip that was talking about how it seems like one, it's all very occult, comes through like the pearly gates. It's her pretending to be this like one Greek god of something or other, and they go into all the details of it. I'm speaking out of ignorance in that regard, but they talk about how in the Freemasons, the whole thing is like becoming your own god. And like, that's the highest. Apparently the Weeknd just recently became like the highest level of the Freemasons. And so in the music video, it's her like becoming one of the gods, and she's looking up. Like, it's almost like I guess the theory is that she's like fully ordained as a Mason now. And like, they have the Weeknd as like God in the sky, like as the universe. And it's because like he's like encouraging her to transcend to that then too. And it's like this whole imagery. And when you see
all
it
like a party?
No. That I'm talking about. This was her recent music video, the God
Okay,
part.
okay.
And they all came out like right all at the same time. So, again, take it with a grain of salt, but it's just like that was just brought to my attention today. It's just like every day there's just more of this stuff. And
that's what makes it so confusing too, man. Because it's like, are they really just throwing this in our face, or is it something else? Like, what's going on? Like, are you really putting this right in my face? Are you really exposing? Are you really just let me know what's going on? Like, why? Why?
Have you seen those videos of Katy Perry recently?
I haven't.
Oh, dude. Dude, everybody's now like, is she a robot? Like, what is this? It's just like these people are it's just insane. I don't know what to make of it anymore.
And that's what goes to, again. I know I'm repeat myself, but it's like, is this really going on? You really showing me that you actually got this going on, or is this a distraction from something else? You know, or is it just clickbait?
Well,
views? Trying to get some views?
The clickbait. You got to start asking the question then. Is this what the audience wants, or is this what the audience is being pushed to?
Yeah. Is it what they really want, or like they may not necessarily want it, but it may get their attention. So now, because I'm about to go watch the video just because of what you said. I wouldn't have watched that video before. I'm not a fan of either one of them.
Right. Well, so you're right. They got us. They did get us in that regard.
Yeah. And at the same time, do she really have this going on? Is she really on some type of zombie apocalypse? She in her zombie apocalypse bag?
Well, here's what's weird. Every one of her outfits now on a red carpet, again, another occulty thing, a red carpet. But it's just weird. Every one of her outfits is like almost like what Lady Gaga was, but it's not so extreme that it's like a dress of meat, but it's like her with latex making it look like her eyeball was cut out and a blood red dress. And you're like, what is this? There's just weird things. I don't know. And again, tell me she didn't just come out of nowhere. She was just like TikTok decided she's on.
Yeah. And I mean, TikTok can't do that. TikTok can't do that.
TikTok's got us.
You never know these days.
Did you see? Now let's take it to where I was hoping to take us. Did you see Elon Musk wants to, now that he's bought Twitter, wants to bring Vine back?
Nah, I didn't see that.
Tell me that would not be popping.
I never really used Vine. How is it? I ain't even know.
So here's my opinion on that. It's not even that I think the platform would be that much better. Like, obviously, he would have to adapt to what the world is now, and 6-second videos is not long enough. Like, obviously, you need to because that was Vine's thing. 6 seconds max. That was it, or whatever it was. I think it did move to like 13 right before it like went out or something. It did change right before the end. But Vine, the only reason I'd get excited about Vine is, one, it's something different, add more the merrier, whatever. But also, it's an American company, which I'm tired of us just giving our private information all to a Chinese corporation that is 100% at war against us. Like, we are in a Cold War, and we're just giving them our country's private citizens' information.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to cut that cord, and I'd like to hope that taking it into now the 21st century here in 2022, that like we would have a more adapted version of this where we could upload directly to it. It wouldn't be because the thing about Vine is you could never have like CGI in it or anything. It strictly came from your camera or nothing. Like you couldn't upload. So like you'd have to think Vine would have to adapt, allow you to upload, allow longer videos, those types of things.
So you can upload it from your phone?
Before you could not. Before
Okay.
it strictly had to be like filmed live or it
Oh.
couldn't go on Vine.
Okay. Yeah.
But again, you got to remember, dude, this is 2012.
Yeah.
Like this, it was a different world back then. And this is the beginning of a technology. Like I had Vine doing 6-second videos at the same time. I had this app I thought was badass because it looked like it was a beer and I'm drinking it, right? You remember those cheesy, like the iPhone? It was so cool that you had this device that would react to like you moving it, like up, down, side to side. So remember there people were psyched about an app where you would just touch the screen and the Bic lighter would like fake light a flame. And then you touch the app again and the flame would go away. It's like, why did that excite us? Because the app, like it was a juvenile age of the technology. But if they tried doing that today, I don't think Vine would thrive at all. Maybe it would. Maybe it's something different, kind of like that Be Real stuff. You seen what the kids do with that Be Real?
I haven't heard of that.
Dude, it's like the hottest thing with kids right now. And I just can't get it. Like the high schools and I guess college too. But it's an app that like everybody has. And then right when one time a day, it could be like 1 o'clock in the morning, it could be at 4:30 in the afternoon. It sends out a like notification to everybody to be real, and you have to take a picture like at that moment. And so your Instagram feed, instead of like it being everybody's like photoshopped best picture, Be Real is just right now. And it takes 2 pictures. It takes both cameras. So it'll take one of me taking it and one of that. Oh my God, I just realized something. I'm at the 21 Pilots concert with a buddy of mine, and these 2 girls, I love telling this story because it makes me giggle, but I just realized something. So I go, these 2 girls come running up to me and they go, "Can you please take our picture real quick?" And like a dad, I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Sure," but like, why do you, they're standing in front of like the popcorn sign. Like it's just like the foods and ad sign. I'm like, why don't we go find a 21 Pilot poster? Like, let's just go up the, like one more section. Why are we doing it in front? And they're like, well, no, take the picture. And I'm like, why are we just doing this right here? Like, and they're like, and then I look and it's a countdown to like 3, 2, and I'm like, uh-oh. And I just took it. And I just giggled because I'm like this old man that's like trying to tell them like, hey, we should go find a poster. And I'm like, no, man, just take the picture. Anyway, it just now dawned on me, these girls took a picture of me too. And I didn't even notice it. Like, because it does. Be Real takes a picture of them. And so they also then got a picture of me trying to like, what is going on?
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So what do you think of Elon Musk buying Twitter?
It's about, hey, I think Dogecoin might be go back up. Well, it is going up. Dogecoin is going up. See, I'm a genius, man. I'm a genius. But yeah, Dogecoin is going crazy, and it's crazy because I don't make like almost $1,000 a week off of Dogecoin as far as profit.
Wow. So
but I've been in the hole for a long time. Though. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I wasn't.
Are you gonna sell it high?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Since Elon Musk got Twitter, I definitely feel like Dogecoin will continue to increase. So yeah, I'm gonna wait till I make a little something. I'm sell it, but I'm not gonna sell all of it because Dogecoin does not have it's not a real thing right now. It's just a meme coin. But a friend of mine told me, yeah. So it's a meme coin. It's nothing. It literally has no real value. So, but a friend of mine told me this is how you look at Dogecoin. You look at it like a money making machine, because that's really what people get into it for, just to make money. So the reason I'm saying that, because long term, Dogecoin might be something, because so many people have invested into it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
long term, Dogecoin might be something. So I'm not going. It'll be a long time before I sell all of it. But once I start making some profit, I'm definitely gonna cash out on something.
Dude, that's the waiting game's gonna pay off. So,
Yeah.
so I gotta ask, what do you think Twitter looks like coming up in the future? Like, do you think he changes it much? And yeah, what do you think?
I don't think he changes much to it. I just think that I don't know if you realize that he lifted the ban from Kanye on Twitter.
No way.
Kanye's not banned from Twitter. I think that it like I think that Elon, whatever game he's playing, as far as like world leaders, he's gonna be the guy who plays the role of, I guess, freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Because apparently, I think, can't Trump get back on Twitter also?
I was literally about to ask you. So I guess I saw that like people are being really aggressive towards Elon, asking if he's going to have Trump come back.
Okay.
And there hasn't been an official decision yet, but I wanted to ask you, do you think he lifts the ban?
He might. If he does, he'll do it soon. If he waits for a long time to do it, I wouldn't expect him to do it, simply because he already lifted the ban from Kanye. So, I mean, what is he waiting for? If he can lift it from Trump, what is he waiting for?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because I just had the Cruel Philosopher on and we reacted to it live. Like we were doing it kind of late night like this. And he was like, dude, I got to tell you, just now it was announced. I I have to ask you, if Trump comes back, what's his first tweet?
That's crazy. I don't know. That's crazy. And what Trump gonna say? For real. That what he gonna say?
Dude, it ain't gonna be. It's not gonna be good. That dude is gonna come and cause nothing but problems. But
I don't
I
know,
think
man.
it'll be fun.
I tell you, I kind of like Trump simply because I do think he is. I mean, I think he got his foot on in the door with them guys somehow. The rest of them, but I like him because he spoke a lot of truth that no one else has ever spoken. That's what I do like about him.
So there's another theory about how all these different families operate, right? Instead of them all being fingers to the same hand, there's another theory that, like, think of like mafiosos, right? Like they're all leaders of their own mafia family and they all kind of work amongst each other to keep and preserve their control and power, but then also they have their own inner feuds and power struggles because they're all kind of selfishly power driven. And that's why they hate Trump, is because while he was like one of the major players with them, he's also like a wild card that puts himself first and like really has done a lot to expose them and combat them.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder why he would expose them if they all on the same. That's why it's so confusing, man.
Isn't it? Doesn't it's peculiar? I was thinking the same thing as I was saying it. Let me ask you this. At the end of the day, so Tulsi Gabbard has left the Democrat Party. Doesn't look like she'd be picked up by the Republican Party because, again, she's not a part of the machine. So she runs it as an independent. And that's not going to be taken very serious. But you got Tulsi Gabbard, you got Kanye. Trump's going to come back. I think the dead guy, Weekend at Bernie's, Joe Biden, I think he's going to try to run again. If not, you got Camel Lady, the vice president, and who knows who else they might pull out of the gutter. The question is, what are you thinking you might be looking at in a couple of years? Is it going to be Kanye?
If they let Kanye run and Kanye runs, Kanye's going to win this time. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Beginning, people took Kanye as a joke, but I think people are waking up now. Because if Kanye, everyone, see, you gotta understand. Let me rewind. Everyone knows Get Out is about Kanye. Everybody knows that. So what I'm saying is, if Kanye's gotten out, then he should be president. But if he's still in the sunken place, we don't need sunken place Kanye. We need Get Out Kanye. You know,
Can you
does that make
explain
sense?
that? Can you explain that for me?
Well, Kanye said that Get Out was about him, and I believe him because he's a genius. So if he's in the sunken place, that means that he's under control. He's under what they call it, what they call that mind control.
Yeah. Project MK Ultra.
MK Ultra. So if he's MK Ultra, we don't need that Kanye because he'll basically be part of the same hand. But if he's Ye, that's what we need. We need Ye. We need the real Kanye. We need the real Kanye to be president of the United States.
So here's a scary thing.
Yeah.
I do think that they put like reality and facts within their like kids movies and comedy movies and television shows and stuff, because then if you see it, you're like, oh, I saw that in a comedy. That isn't real. You saw MK Ultra in what's that movie with Ben Stiller? Oh man, it's gonna kill me. Zoolander. So Zoolander, it's just a pop culture movie from like the early 2000s. He's under MK Ultra. You saw the Winter Soldier in the Marvel movies. He's an MK Ultra guy. I read this book called Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon, and it talks about how the rock scene and all of Laurel Canyon in Hollywood is all pretty much MK Ultra CIA background. So I ask you this. You look at something like the Winter Soldier, and if it's a situation where like you say a certain amount of words, or it could be, who knows what the trigger is, if it's a flash of light or maybe a certain type of radiation or a song. But if there's a trigger and he has admitted he could be compromised in a Get Out way or an MK Ultra-esque type way, wouldn't it be scary to have that type of person in office and like they get us to vote for him? We put him in there and then, they play Toodaloo and he's back to zonking out for the Kardashians.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. You're right. And that's what I'm afraid of.
So again, talk about having your having your hedges bet your hedges, whatever it is, you know what I'm trying to say. Talking about hedging your bet, that's what I'm trying to say. Look at even the wild card that we would want to vote for could be one of theirs that they could just snap and he's back to it. It's like, are these people even beatable at this point? They are, if you follow.
We're pretty much screwed.
I think the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing us he wasn't real. But also, I think if you lead a life of purity and true of heart, like they can't stop us. They just can't. It's kind of like an impenetrable force. At the end of the day, you could kill me and I'll just move on to the next thing. And I will have lived a life of purity. So if there is something over there waiting for me, guess what? Sayonara. If not, then you know what life is probably like? Exactly what life was like before you were alive. Do you remember that? No. Did it hurt? No. It's just off. Or it's not. And this is a war against good and evil, and you can fight on the good side of good, and we defeat those mofos, and you get to live a life of prosperity. Any of those scenarios can be living.
Yeah. That first scenario, man, it's kind of like a blessing and scary at the same time.
Isn't it? It's very scary. Obviously, I'm with you. That's not what we want. We want this thing to go on for. I want this. I want it to be that we're angels being tested and trained to see if we can, divert from the temptations and being compromised by the serpent's tongue, and one day be able to be victors in this fight. But if that's not the case, what's wrong with living your life on the side of good? Like, what am I missing? And if you come to peace with the only other option is painless, just nothingness, like it sucks, but that's like, you're not going to be the first one that doesn't experience that. And you're certainly not going to be the last. That's what all you would not think life was beautiful. Like, here's the deal. If you had an Oreo after, a long day in the desert, that Oreo is going to taste amazing. But if you've been stuck at home and on like weeks of rainy days and you just got literally piles of Oreos around you, that 1000th Oreo is not going to be appealing. So at some point, we need to acknowledge the beauty of life is that at some point it's taken from us. Like, it's sad, but that's what makes beauty in the pain.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's a great one to end on. What do you think?
Yeah.
So, Blue, I appreciate you giving me your time. Can you tell us where the people can find you?
Yeah, y'all definitely can find me at Fish and Grits. Fish and Grits. And also Instagram be Jon Blu _.
There it is. Is that on YouTube, Fish and Grits?
Yeah, Fish and Grits is on YouTube.
There it is. There it is. All right. I appreciate you, Blue. Guys, if we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you could do is share this episode. Take that link and text it to your friends. Otherwise, you could check all of our content on the website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. Blue, my friend, thank you again for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Take it easy.
You too, my friend. And guys, we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.